Hello, Gemini. Welcome to a timeless wave of love reading where we discuss however the wave of love wants to be discussed. Bear in mind that you have decided to tap into a collective insight of a reading, and this is not a one-to-one personal reading, so use your discernment to take all the bits and pieces that resonate with you, leave the rest behind with the reading that may not. Okay. Whatever brings you here, again, brings you here, all right? Whether you are keen to being Gemini anywhere or don't know, hello. All right, in regards to the reading itself, please remember that feminine and masculine energies are non-gender specific. However, femininity encapsulates both feminine and masculine energies, and masculinity also encapsulates feminine and masculine energies. As to who I am 7th, aka Master 7th, that reads these energies for you. I am a master healer that provides remote wellness alignments and tarot intuitive insights such as this. I run 2 sister channels, which you can explore via the description box below, should any of that be of interest to you. Also, there's further details in the description box below should you want to know a bit more intimate details about me. All right, so we're starting off fairly strong here. All right, you just have, period. Okay, okay, all right, anyway. You're over the drama, but you do enjoy some sort of the social aspects of everyday life. However, there is an elephant in the room when it comes to those things when you return home. You're exhausted. You're exhausted of what you remember, what people told you, what people share with you, the fears that you had that are within that social setting, the validation that you secretly are actually in desire for. That's maybe the secret as to why you put yourself in those situations, to see whether people will take notice of you. There is a very healing need at the stage where you are of having mastered versions of yourself, where you see the external world behaving in a way that validates the internal struggle that you succeeded to overcome. And that is fantastic, all right? That's fantastic because you're becoming aware of the 360 pursuit of who and what you are, while they may still have frailties within them and are fragile and are imperfect and are still maybe similar to some of the things that allow you to have this perspective. But you know what? You're more than that. You're bigger than that. You've matured. You've owned up to the tarnishes and impolished ways of who you are. And you're growing into such a wonderful, self-confident individual that, yeah, just fantastic. Fantastic. All right? Absolutely fantastic. And some of you have turned a blind side to some of the things that you have maybe learned and culturally been indoctrinated in to take in as ways to take into life, you know, as you experience however home was like in the privacy of your life, and had a massive impact to your overall maturity and the stage of maturity that you embarked on. I mean, that's something that is not just indicative in your reading. This is somewhere just kind of everywhere, right? And for probably everyone. What you're learning and what awakenings and enlightenments can offer to an individual is knowing that the same bullshit may not change as quickly or may still be there, because that's where you can realize time does not heal the wounds, right? However, you can do something in appreciating the wound, what it is and what it's for. It may be lessening its impact when it feels struck, when it feels like it needs to share its emotions to the nearest person, which is then you, your wounds, and you feeling the consequence of that salt in your wound kind of effect. There's a stage in life where life comes in and says, hey, you had a certain version that was limited. We're giving you a carbon copy and saying that you're limitless. And that is something that you're making amends with for yourself, whether that means, you know, turning away from certain indoctrinations or outwitting that energy and changing the words so that the perspective can grow, as well as the power of influence of such words. Incredible amount of work here. Incredible amount of emotional redemption. You're learning different ways to allow energy to come and speak for itself, alright? You're over their narrative, I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend, I want a spouse. Like, you just don't, that's not, like that's not, like, that, just, the words are not coming out. Alright? But what is there is opportunity, fun. What is there is a chance to be and learn and grow and be loved and be intimate and understand commitment and touch and loyalty and devotion and touching and being touched. Like, very scorpionic energy coming through, I must say. I know it's not on the map, whatever, but it's very like, ooh, excuse me. Alright, yeah, okay. Like, give me more. Alright. King of Swords energy. Yeah, and it's the transformation. I feel that's the scorpionic energy. I feel the transformation of taking the wave of emotions and bullshit and going with the storm and loving the tornado you've come to be. Loving that energy. Not being afraid of all the multiple ways you want to emote and the flavor of emoting some and another. I mean, there are things and people who we love because they get to just act and whatever, and because it's a title, and because they get credit, because they get a paycheck, we get to glorify that shit. Alright? And then some of us see that and then they want to say, I want to become that person. It's acting. At the same time, what gets a good actor across the screen is if they can flare up their emotions and really sell themselves, sell the script, right? So you're learning life doesn't have to have the career path to be an actor. You can be an actor, not get the paycheck, but damn, do you get results. You're getting results, and that's what fucking matters. You're getting results. You know, I do understand that some of those results are very personal, not as loud as maybe as you may want them to be, but, you know, little goes a long way. A little has gone a long way, and boy, will that go even further. So I am not worried. I'm not worried. There's nothing to worry about here. The maturity in the sense of trials and tribulations that are to come. I mean, the shit that you've gone through already is going to take care of all the trials and tribulations. Fear not. Fear not. Let's face it, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to understand boundaries for yourself and boundaries for yourself for others. Oh, as the devil comes in. Yeah. Boundaries need to be set, my love. Boundaries need to be set. And that can be a very interpersonal, private boundaries that you set forth with yourself right here, and you're like, this is the grid line. This is the boundary. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got. And this is the lock code. This is the lock code for that boundary. That's it. That's it. And your energy that be are like locked and loaded. Let them get in, bitch. Bye. Oh, Lord. Oof. Alright, let's see. The Hermit. Locked and loaded. Like I said, locked and loaded. The gridlock here, the gridlock is as small as your little lantern. This is your boundary. This is the boundary. That's it. That's it. That's it. Say less. Say less. Say less. It's fucking Nine of Wands wants to come from the top of the deck. The Magician at the bottom of the deck. Oof. Oh, fly, little one, fly. Fly. Take the message and go. Run with it. Flow with it. Swim with it. Sway with it. Get the swag with it. Fantastic. It is fantastic because this is the proof in the pudding that you're trusting that internal. You trust in that. You trust in that shit. Period. And you also can trust the way you talk about it. When you say, I trust that shit, Someone would be like, oh my god, don't talk so vulgar. Your shit isn't, you shouldn't talk. A boundary, locked and loaded, sacred as fuck. You know who you are. Yeah. You get nothing to worry about. You know, if you need to meditate and fuck this shit and fuck that shit and fuck this, fuck that, you know, do it. The relief is, it's nice. It's nice. All right, some closing out notes for you for this reading. Notes, not watts. Okay. One more. All right. Oh, it is. Okay, we have Juno, relationships, number 30. 30, yeah, number 30. We have water, feel, like I said, the scorpionic energy, the wave. The star is hope, number 44, and Aries, beginnings, number 1. Allow these cards to tell their feelings via the images that you see. First and last impression. Alright, Gemini, that is all that I have for you at this time. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.